Hey everyone, it's been a little bit. So I'm going to jump into this because I haven't for a little bit and I want to. There was a question. I thought I'd anchor to a question of the day from 3 weeks ago. Kitsunama, I think was the username, asked how I stay motivated and how I stay busy and productive while without burning out and without or maintaining my mental health. That's a very good question. I've sort of like in the 3 weeks since sort of the vlog that was asked in, I've sort of shown little insights such as my little outlet, nooks and crannies. But yeah, I am kind of reckless, I think is the honest truth. I do what I call burnout surfing. It's like, when you're surfing, you're riding on the edge of the wave. Like, that's how you get momentum, and it's kind of exhilarating, but that's also, you can crash. And fortunately, I guess I'm probably the equivalent of a pro surfer. I don't crash a lot. It can happen, but I also know when it's going to happen and how to prepare and how to pull back. But it is a need for me. I feel I must. I'll give you a case in point example, actually. So one of the recent vlogs, actually the last vlog I did, where I talked about, everyone's headed home, I'm not that late tonight, actually. I'm heading home 5 minutes late, so don't worry. But in the latest vlog that went up, I did the thrift shop artwork. And I was talking about, getting motivated to do that and everything. And it's really interesting because I really wasn't in the place. I didn't want to do it at the time. That was what that vlog was about, how to motivate yourself. And I trusted the process and sort of shared that I knew I would get into it. Lo and behold, of course, the fact is, by the time I was started, I had 3.5, 4 hours of oil painting. I really enjoyed it so much that that's the pain point for me is before I do it, I'm not going to have enough time to really enjoy it. But I did really enjoy it. I stayed longer than I had planned because I enjoyed it and I wanted to do a good job. I enjoyed it so much that the next day I had to book another short video. I had 4 hours. I'm about to spoil I'm about to spoil a video, tomorrow's video. I won't spoil it then because it's coming out tomorrow. I'll show you a little bit. I'll show you an edge. Okay, that'll do. I did it the next day. I had 4 hours, and usually when a 4-hour shoot, the go-to is let's find a really fun, really playful, maybe playing with art medium. And there's a lot of really high-performing, really fun videos that we've come out with, which were the result of the challenge of what do I do in 3 or 4 hours, such as pendulum painting, such as painting with a mop, where we had these big productions where I got my team to do all the setup and pack up, and I got to just come in and make a mess and leave. So that is usually the way we go about it. And in this instance the other day, because I enjoyed the oil painting the day before and I needed to just pick a video, usually I'm a little more prepared in advance. But in this instance I wasn't. And I really felt like doing more oil painting. But I also didn't feel I wasn't in that place. And so I followed my gut and I painted my imposter syndrome, which was something I felt because of the previous day's painting activity and painting over other people's paintings. And it was really a really creatively gratifying experience. When you see that come out, please know that it's an artistic and emotional expression video, but I'm sharing a specific emotion, but that is not my only emotion. So I hope it doesn't come across in the video I'm depressed or anything. Artist block, bloody imposter syndrome is a specific thing I was confronted with in that moment, and I sort of wanted to express that. I wanted to paint something, and that felt like a cool thing to paint. This is all a huge tangent to the question, which was about how I stay motivated. I think it sort of helps answer, and the answer is I love the feeling. I love the feeling day to day when I push myself in a 3 or 4 hour shoot and I leave with something that's furthered myself, or I've accomplished something after challenging myself. On the micro level, that's what I love. On the macro, on the larger scale of things, I love thinking 10 years from now, what if this becomes a Netflix show? Or 10 years from now, what if I have a game dev company? That's the kind of fuel to the bigger projects that take a lot more admin work and are grueling and are pretty thankless when you're processing them or doing all the admin and prep and all that around it. But the vision of how great that will be is so addictive, and the bite-sized snippets you get of it, like in working on Gatecrash, which I'll need to update you on soon, but the game that we've started to develop and we applied for funding for, which was rejected a couple of days ago, and again, I'll go through that later. The process of applying the pitch and putting all this stuff together, envisioning it, and having big dreams, in making bite-sized pieces that make that feel real, that's so exciting. And it was the same feeling when I worked on The Tale Teller, which was an animation that took me over 10 months. It was a huge amount of work, but every day when I finished 5 seconds of animation and I had that done and I got to see that piece finished, it was like a nugget of gold on what was going to be like a grand vision that I was excited by. But I find enough satisfaction in the small pieces, in the small challenges, and completing those and enjoying that keeps me going day to day. But also I love the big goals. So anyways, I hope that answers your question. I don't know if it did. The question was, how do you stay motivated? I think I am just wired to be addicted to that feeling that creativity brings, and sharing that. I'm a performer at the end of the day, and I'm motivated by that, by chasing that feeling, or dopamine. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will say, I did have an idea for what I was going to vlog today, because I got up at 5 in the morning. I've been working on something different, because I told you when I first said I've been working at 5 in the morning, it was to learn to code. And then I diverted to do the D&D tiles, which I will update on eventually, but that's slightly paused. So I've been moved on from that to, at 5 in the morning, I've been working on tabletop roleplay prep stuff, which this week I'm going to be working a bunch on because it's my birthday, and I'm treating myself by upgrading that setup. So I'll vlog that later in the week. Tomorrow, I get to unbox a bunch of toys. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.